Hello great people, you are welcome back to Physique Fashion House channel. My name is Fola. Today we'll be continuing in the making of a beautiful corset dress with a drape cup and a queen hand neckline. You can see that I've gone ahead to cut out my fabrics with the pattern we made in the part 1 of this video. I've cut out this is the back cut, this is the lining, and this is the main fabric. You can see that half an inch is being added up here, half an inch is being added here. I later use the 1.5 for the depth of my back neckline. So then half an inch is added here thereafter, and the 1 inch is being added as a side seam allowance. Half an inch is being added to the down parts of the back bodies. The same way I cut the main fabric is the way I cut out the lining. Now come to the front cut. So you can see this is the center front. This is the front. 1 inch is being added as a side seam allowance. Half an inch is being added by the armhole region here. I added half an inch up here. Half an inch is being added to the breast cup region here, and half an inch is being added here. Half an inch is being added by at the down parts of the bodies. So this is the yoke. The same fabric is used to cut out the yoke, and you can see that I use the same fabric as the lining. We'll be using this. I've gone ahead to attach a fusible interfacing to the main fabric. Here we have it. This will be used as the lining. I decided to attach the pattern to the lining so that you'll be seeing all the area that seam allowance has been added. So the same thing is done here. Fusible interfacing has been attached to this. And you can see that this center front is cut out on fold. It's on fold. The same way the lining is cut out. So the same fabric is being used for the yoke part that will form our queen hand neckline. This will serve as the major fabric, which EST, also known as the fusible interfacing, has been added to. This will serve as the lining. So that is it for the cutting of this. And the next thing we'll be doing now is to go ahead and begin to do the joining. So you can see that you can see the way the lining is being cut out for the back cut. This is it. If you want to learn more, how this was done, you can register for our corporate class, online class. You will learn how this was attached. So that is for that. So for the front bodies, I will go ahead and be joining it together now. I've removed the pattern from the fabric, and the next thing we'll be doing is to attach our fabric, joining of the fabric. So we go ahead and stitch this at the neckline. This is the back cut. You are going to take the lining and the fabric, you take it, you join it together by the neckline with the half an inch seam allowance. So then you top stitch. So the same thing will be done to the second one. That's the first thing to do to this back. That allowance has been eliminated. We have closed the dart, so you don't need to hold any darts in this again. So that is for the back. So for the front bodies, we'll go ahead and join this together with half an inch. At this cup region, I join it with half an inch. Then I open it and iron very well. I'll do the same thing to this side. So thereafter, so for the yoke part, we go ahead, half an inch has been added to the four corner of the yoke as our seam allowance. So all you need to do is to grab it. This is the way it's going to be. So the first thing you'll be doing is to join it with half an inch at this neckline region. You join it with half an inch, lining and the fabric. So after joining it, you top stitch on the lining. Now this is the back cut. I've gone ahead to join the lining and the fabric together. You can see how it is neatly joined together, the lining and the fabric. So that is for the back cut. So now let's move to the front cut. This is our front cut. You can see I've gone ahead to join the darts together with our half an inch joining allowance, and this is the side darts I told you about when we were drafting. I had the side darts, iron it facing upward. So the same thing is done to the lining. You can see it is clearly seen here. This is the side that. Then the yoke. This is the yoke. I've gone ahead to join the yoke with half an inch by the neckline region. So this is the way it's going to be placed. Everything will come together by the time we join the cup. By the time we hold half an inch here, the joining allowance of the cup, everything will come together. So then I've cut out my straps of about 1.25 wideness or 1.5 wideness then, because these are we are going to use this to pipe the center. I'm going to mark the center from the right side, the center of this corset here. I will rule it. That's where I will attach this. I will, stitch it this way, then fold it in. This is where our regilling bone will be inserted. We are going to do it together, but I will draw a straight line at the center of these front bodies to attach this. Then at the dart line, I will attach another one at the dart region. Then front body's bony. I've told you I'm going to attach my bony and these darts and the center here, making 3 places. You are good to create as many tunnel as you like to insert your bony. You can just draw another line here. You can slantly draw it here. Then another one can be drawn here. So by the time you do that, you'll be having like 7. I have 3 here. You can create another 2, making 5 by drawing another one here and another one here. If you want it to be 7, you are good to create another one here, then another one here. You just do it stylishly, slanting it this way. You can slant it to meet the center one, just this way. You are good to play around with it. So, but for this, for the purpose of this class, I will be creating tunnel for just 3 bony. Here. So that is for that. So thereafter, we now come to the business of today, which is wrapping. One of the major business of today, that is our drape wrapping for cup. This is it. I've gone ahead to attach the strap to create the tunnel for the bony, and in 3 places. And this is the bony. I've gone ahead to iron this. This is the way it was when I cut it out. I iron it. Then let me just insert it. So having done this, I cut away the excess. So after cutting away the excess, you can see that we are having the exact measurement here now. So the next thing I will do is to bring it out a bit to cut away 1 inch. And the reason why I want to cut away another 1 inch is that half an inch will be used as seam allowance up here, half an inch down here. So in your seam allowance, your bony cannot extend to your joining allowance. So I'll cut away this 1 inch. So when I cut away this 1 inch, I will bring it down a bit, ensuring I have my half an inch up here and I have my half an inch down here. So here I will, let me blend it to match the shape I'm having here. So I have the seam allowance of my half an inch down here, half an inch here. So for your bony, you can use your lighter to smoothen the edges of your bony, or you use something like a masking tape to tape it here so that it will not be poking the wearer. That is for the bony. So that which I do here, I'll go ahead and do it for the remaining one. Now to wrap the cup, the first thing that we have to consider is the lining of the cup. So, and to achieve the lining of the cup, I'll be using the same fabric, the same flowery silk, to make both the lining and the main part of the cup. So the first thing you have to consider is to measure the wideness of your cup. Here I'm having 7.5 as the wideness of my cup. So I'll just go ahead and add like a 1.5 inches to it. So that's 9 inches. So in that wise, I will cut out 9 by 9. So here I've cut it out. I have here 9 inches by 9 inches. I cut out 2 for the lining of the 2 cups. So then I will fold it. I want to cut it together. So I will fold it this way. I'll fold it this way. Then I get the midpoint, which is a 4.5. I mark it here as well. 4.5. I connect it with my straight ruler. Then at this point, I come up to with 1 inch and come down with 1 inch. Then I connect it. I flip it to the second one. I connect it. So then I cut it out. So this now, I will go ahead and join this with a half an inch. I will join it this way with half an inch. So I will do the second one just like that. So that is for the lining. Now to the drape part of our cup. Now to achieve the drape part of the cup, what we do is that this is what we are going to measure. The vertical part of our bra cup is what we measure. This is the horizontal. This is the vertical. So we'll be draping this way. By the time we drape, it will give us something horizontal, but we'll drape on the vertical base. When we measure it, it gives us 5.5. Because it's draped, what we'll be doing is that we had a seam. Let's add some seam allowance to it. Let's add like a 2.5 to it. I want us to be on safer side. You can add 1.5 to it. If you add 1.5, it will give you 1.5 plus 5.5 give you 7 inches. So it is that 7 inches you are going to multiply by 3. If you multiply 7 inches by 3, it gives you 21. But for this project, which I also advise you to do, I'll be adding 2.5 to it. If I add 2.5 to 5.5, it gives me 8 inches. And 8 inches by multiply by 3 give me 24. So it is 24 inches I will be considering in cutting out my fabric, the fabric I want to use for my drape, so that you will not be short of fabric along the line. So I have 23 inches here, still okay. You can use 21 to 24 inches. That is for the vertical. So for the horizontal aspect, we have a 7.5 here. You know, we are not draping to this side, so you are good to use like a 10 inches. You can measure out like 10 inches. Let me use 11 inches. I don't want any shortage of fabric at all. So I will be cutting out 11 inches by 23 inches now. So this is what I'll be using for one part of my cup. Now let's start draping our cup. So the first thing we have to do is to place your fabric on the cup, ensuring you leave like a 1 to 2 inches down here. This is the underbust region of your cup. So hold it down with your pin, then begin to drape. So you begin to drape upward this way. So you can see that at this juncture you have gotten to the midpoint of the cup. So you begin to drape it downward now. Let your draping begin to face downward. Yeah, this is it. Beautiful. So I'm okay with what I'm seeing now. So this excess now, I will cut off the excess. So and still you are going to leave something like you have here. You are going to leave it here as well. So let me just cut it this way. Then I cut this. So now this is it. And then our lining, we have gone ahead to join our lining. So we want to join it together now. So this is the lining. We are going to place the lining on it this way. We are going to hold it down with our pin just by the edges, because after joining it now, after holding it down, is that we are going to join the upper part, 3 of them, the bra cup, the drape part, and the lining. We want to join it together. So ensure you arrange it very well. Make sure that there is a excess in the 4 side, so that you won't have any problem in any side by the time you flip it to where it's supposed to be. Just fill your cup where it reaches. The cup stops somewhere here. Yeah. So I will pin it down now so that it will not shift. Then I pin it down. I want to pin 3 of them down now. Yeah, I've held it down. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to go and join it here. This is the upper part of our cup. With this 1/4 of an inch up here is already obvious in the cup. So I will go and join it down. So then I'll come back to come and show you. Having done this, you know, it's always good to have a surplus. You can easily cut it off instead of you to have a shortage. So the next thing is to grab your cup lining, place it on the main one, just this way, ensuring everything cover. So just be using your hand to feel the cup, so that you will know that the material is already covering the cup. You feel everywhere. Yeah. So then you begin to hold it down at the center first, so that it will not shift. So the next thing is for you to hold it down. This is the upper part of your cup. Hold it down. You want to go and stitch it together now. Yeah, I've pinned it down. So the next thing is for you to go and join it together with this 1/4 of an inch up here. It's obvious in your cup, the 1/4 of an inch. Stitch it. So you are stitching the 3 together, the cup, the drape, and the lining. This is it. I've gone ahead to join it here at the upper part of the cup. So you are good to cut away the excess now, before we now flip it to the. Then we remove the pin. Now this is it. We flip the lining to the back. Then you secure it with pin again, because you want to go and stitch down the edges now. So look at this. This is the way this one is going to be because of the drape. There is nothing you can do about this. This counts flipping. If you want to flip it by force, this joining, it will look somehow. So because the cup is already having drape, so this doesn't mean anything in this edge. Ensure that your lining enters like this. Don't fasten it too much, so that there will be room for your bob to enter. So I will go ahead, I will stitch it down by these edges. So when you get to your machine, you begin to remove the pin as you are stitching it. Now this is it. I've gone ahead to stitch down the side of our cup. So it is advisable you join this part with less than 1/4 of an inch, so that you have a beautiful result here. So use 1/8 to join it inside there, so to give you better results. So now the next thing is for us to trim off this. So you are good to even remove the pin now. Let me remove all this pin. Ensure that all the pins are removed. Don't deliver your customers dress with pin inside the cup. It won't be funny. So feel everywhere. Ensure that there is no pin left in the drape. Yeah. So I cut it out, and as you are cutting this excess, be using your hand to feel where the cup stops. So I will be doing it this way. When you place it this way, you can see that I can see where the cup stops. So that's the idea I will use to cut this thing. You can see as I do it this way, I can see where the cup stops. You can easily trim any remaining excess now. Can easily be seen now. So you won't cut part of your cup away. Yeah, this is it now. So here we have our cup draped now. I've done the second one. This is it. Now here is our corset. So we have finished draping our cup, and this is the inside part of our cup, the inner part of our cup. You can see it. You make it in such a way that your bob will be able to sit well. So the next thing we want to do is to go and attach the drape cup to our bodies. And to achieve that, we're going to pick the lining. We're going to join it together here first at this upper part of the center. You know, the boning is already here, and half an inch, we have left half an inch that the boning didn't reach up here. Even in the down part here, half an inch is being left that the boning then reach. The same thing applies to the other ones. So we are going to join the lining to the main fabric of the bodies up here with our half an inch. We do the same thing here, half an inch. We join it up here. We join it up here, lining on the fabric. Then we top stitch, we iron and top stitch. Then before we now join our corset, let me quickly do this. Then I show you how the cup will be attached to it. I've gone ahead to join the center front, the upper center front here, and this side I've joined it with the half an inch. The next thing is to attach our cup, and to achieve that, you know, half an inch is being added here as a joining allowance. I'm going to reduce it with quarter of an inch. I will cut away quarter of an inch here because it is quarter of an inch that we want to use here to join, so that it will be aligned. Everything will be aligned together. I can easily measure my quarter of an inch. If you can't measure it, you are good to measure it with your tape measure. I'll do the same thing here. So lining and the fabric has been joined together. The next thing is for me to insert this. I will place it this way. I will flip this way. Starting from here, I will start from this point. I will go ahead and join it together with quarter of an inch. You can pin it down if you have your way. So I'm going to join it with quarter of an inch this way. So that is the way I am going to do it on my machine till I get to the very end this way. You can see that it matches. So that is what I'm going to do now. Here we have it. I've gone ahead to attach the draped cup to the bodies. You can see how beautiful and neatly it is attached. So this is the inner part of it. This is how it is attached. I removed the center boning for me to have opportunity in this region. So I will insert it back before the skirt part is joined. So for the inner part of it now, you can see I have done the finished work in one side, but in order to explain to you, I want to show you how it looks. This is it. This is the way the lining, the fabric and the cup is joined together with a quarter of an inch. You can see this is how it goes round. So thereafter, let me use this side to do an illustration now. I've attached the bias. This is the case that our underwire will be inserted. I attached the bias this way. You can use the matching color of bias. This is the one available now. So I attach it this way. I stitch it with less than quarter of an inch. then I flip it up and stitch it, go round. That's the way this place is done. So, and that is the tunnel our underwire will be used to be inserted. So this is it now. This is the underwire. This is the way, because that underwire has a, you know, lower part and the higher side. This is the way it is. Don't mistakenly place it this way. So you can see that it can't go this way. So this is the way our underwire will be inserted now. So this is the one I have attached the tunnel. This is the way the underwire will be placed there. So you use that to know how you are going to insert your underwire. So this is the way the underwire will be inserted in the tunnel. I'll be doing the second part later. So I just want you to see the difference. So this is it now. This is the one the underwire has been inserted. This is the one without a underwire. You can see that this one comes up than this. Why this one looks flat somehow. So underwire will be fixed there as well. You can see that underwire really bring out the work now. So this is the yoke, and this is the way the yoke is going to. The remaining part here is our joining allowance for our armhole. So this is the way this one is going to be fixed now. You know, half an inch is being added under here. So you are going to place it this way. The half an inch here has been used. So you place it this way. So this is the way I am going to stitch it down. I will stitch it down here. Just like this. So, and the second one will be done the same way. So you can see that our corset is making sense now. Ensure that you stitch it on that joining so that it won't be obvious for your work to be neater. And pin it down before you stitch it. So by so doing, our front bodice is ready. So the next thing is for us to insert the front shoulder to the back shoulder. And another thing I want you to note about this back cut, it depends on you. You can choose to do anything you like. You can create keyhole at the center back here, but this is the way the owner of this dress wants it, because as the front is already open, she doesn't want the back to be opened as well. I've gone ahead to join this side of the yoke. I've stitched it down to this upper part of the bra cup. You can see how it is neatly attached. You stitch inside this joining so that your stitching will not be obvious. So the same thing is done here. Then I inserted the front shoulder to the back shoulder. Thereafter, I join the sides together, lining to lining, fabric to fabric. This is it. You can see I join it with the 1 inch side seam allowance. I join the side together, lining to lining, fabric to fabric. So you can see how everything is looking neat. I stitch down the armhole region, the armhole cuff. I stitch it down. So the next thing for me is to just stitch down here now. So you take your measurements. You can see I'm having my 34 by the side now. That is 17 inches multiplied by 2. That's 34. And this is the waist. I'm having my 27 inches. So that is it. So let me just measure this place now. I will stitch it down. Then I just measure it straight to know what I'm having. Measure everything together, including your power allowance. So I'm having 30 here. So I'm good to cut out my fabric. This is the fabric I'll be using for the skirt part. So you measure what you are having. I mean your original half length. The original half length is a 16.5. So you deduct it from the full length of your dress. So if you want 3/4 or you want a long gown, so whichever length you want, you deduct your half length from it. That is what you are going to cut out here. And that which I've measured here, 30 inches, I'm going to multiply it by 3. So if I multiply 30 by 3, it gives me 90. So it is 90 inches breadth I'm going to cut out now. So you are good to join it. So now I'm going to cut out, and then you can cut 45 for the front, 45 for the back. Then you join it together. So 90 inches by your length. For this project, we are doing 3/4 length. I'll be cutting out 30 inches plus my 16.5 to give me something around 46. So that is what I will be cutting out. I've stitched down the down parts. So, and I've cut out my fabric, the one I'm going to use to gather the ruffles. So I cut out 27 inches, I mean 27.5 inches, almost 28 by 60. You know, I told you to do 30 multiplied by 3, amounting to 90. And if you now share it into 2, I mean to get the front and the back separately, it will give you 45. That 90 divided by 2 give you 45. So we're supposed to get 45 here, but I get 60. I want that ruffle to gather very well, which means we multiply it by 4 instead of by 3. That 30 multiply it by 4 give you 120. Then you have 60. And this is another one, 60. So for this skirt part, you don't need to shape anything. I mean, that's, you know, this basque effect, you don't need to shape it here. By the time you join it to the bodice, everything will come out the way you see it in the thumbnail. Everything here we're having here is 30. So I gathered this one to give me 15 or 16 inches. I gathered the second one, then I join it by the side, then I open it at the center back to attach the zipper. So this is how you gather this one to give you the length you want. Now I've gathered the ruffle to give me 16 inches because of the joining allowance. I have 16 inches there. This is the second ruffle. I have 16 inches here as well. So I will join it by the side and open one at the center back to create the zipper allowance. So that is what I will just go and do now. And note that, you know, I was having 3 yards by 60 for this project. That's why I couldn't get more than 27 to 28 length for the skirt part. If you have enough fabric, you can cut out any length of your choice, because this is the remaining fabric. Aside that, it just remains the one I will use for the sleeve. So I will go and join this by the side now and open it at the center back and join it to these bodies. Then I will fix my sleeve. You are good to fix any sleeve of your choice, because this that's not our focus in this tutorial. But for me, I'll be attaching the sleeve you are seeing in the thumbnail. Then I will go ahead and join the zipper after joining the down parts, the skirt parts to the bodies. Yeah, this is the finished product of our corset with draped cup. You can see that our Queen Anne neckline has really formed now. You can see how beautiful it looks. Look at it this way. See the Queen Anne neckline. It's not too wide. I think this is moderate and mature. For the ruffle parts, these skirt parts that I told you about, I told you that you don't need to shape your skirt when you cut it, and the reason is that this one is ruffle. If you are cutting a straight skirt for a basket effect like this, you have to shape it for it to be, for it to be aligned with the bodies. But when you are doing the gathers or ruffles, you don't need to shape it. It will, you know, take care of itself. So that is for that. I've gone ahead to attach my sleeve. You are good to attach any sleeve of your choice. You can see how beautiful it looks. Let me show you the inner view of this project. See as it looks beautiful inside here. So you can add lining to the down parts if you wish. Beautiful. Look at the inner view of the cup region. You can see how everything is well placed and neat. The underwire is already there. So, and it's not making it look rough at all. Everything has been in sync. I've hemmed the down part of the gown. And this is the front view. You can see how beautiful and elegant it looks. I'm sure you have really enjoyed this video. If you have not subscribed, do well to subscribe today. And I'll be expecting your comments. Drop your comments on the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe once again if you have not done so. So thank you so much for watching.